Hello guys, welcome to another video tutorial by Nocode Africa, and in this tutorial we're going to continue building our food delivery application. Where did we stop? So I think we actually stopped exactly where these dashboard design stats, right? So we actually started working on this seller dashboard. So in this project we basically have like two kinds of users. We have the guys that want to buy food and the guys that want to sell food. So the guys that want to sell food are the sellers, and the guys that want to buy basically the users, the customers. Okay, so we have done a couple of these screens, and then we've actually started our front end for this project. So if at all this is like the very first time you are seeing this, just check the description under this video and you will see the links to all the different parts of this video. This is part 5, and it's going to be a combination of front end and back end. All right, so today we're going to continue working on the application. We will work on this particular screen, the running other screen, right? Yes, we will work on the running other screen, and then we will work on my food list, and we will work on add new items. So basically at the end of these, I think we're going to have to start with these actually. So this is it's a very important screen, right? Yeah, so I think from what I'm seeing here right now, and I think when you click on this, when you click on these big plus button, I think that's where you should have this screen, right? Yeah, and then maybe when you click on this, you get to see these particular details here, right? Yeah, so this is more like the detail screen. So you click this and upload the information. Okay, no. So basically, I think you just click on these particular, fill these particular details to push the food to the Firebase, like push the document to Firebase. And then this is chef food details. Okay, so this is a food list. So when you click on this, I think it brings you to this point. Yeah, good. Then we have the menu part. I think this should be when you click on this and you see this particular point, and then withdraw successful. Okay, when you click on this, so we will try to see how we can build the screens as fast as we can, and then we try to do a couple of backend to it as well. All right, so let's do it. These are the number of screens that we have done so far, and we're going to build this. This is more like a bottom sheet. Yeah, so this is more like a bottom sheet, and or a pop-up, like basically a pop-up. So it's I think basically this is running others. Where do we have running others? Okay, so this is running others. So when you click on this, it brings up this. Yeah, so then other requests, I think when you click on the other request here, where do we have the other request? Where is the other request? Okay, so I haven't seen review screen, haven't seen the other request page. So I think we can also still use these this particular screen for other requests. Yeah, we will find a way around it. The screens might not be like very complete, like I mean from the design. We will work our way around it and just make sure that we have something good. So I just want to really show you how all of this works. So let's go ahead and then come over to FlutterFlow and then start building our application. So this is the first one we're starting with, so I'm just gonna copy this. This is running others, and we will go to the component section here, and then I will go ahead and add a component. I will click on create blank, and then I'll paste the name, and that's it. So we have this now. So at this point, this is the scaffold of this bottom sheet, which is a pop-up, and we need to add some details. Okay, so this is the container, right? And it's 375 by 681. So let's go here. This is a scaffold, so we need to add we can just go ahead and add a container first. The container is going to be 675 by, was that what it is? Sorry, 375. So 375 by, I think, 681. Yes. So we have here 681, and okay, I'm seeing here project save timeout. Okay, so my internet again wasn't connected. All right, so Okay, so I think this is good. I will have to just go ahead and just even if I copy, will it work? But I have to reload this, otherwise I wouldn't see those details. Okay, so while that is loading up, let's look at this. So this is going to be a pop-up that when the user clicks on this comes alive, right? And this is a container, right? And this is the dimension of the container, and then we have a a row here with this text, and then we have this is a list view for the different things. So we will have some few scenarios here. Let's see. Okay, all right, let's get back to the component section. I am very sure that what we tried to do is no longer here, right? So actually it's not here. So yeah, it didn't save, so because my internet was not connected. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just create it. Let's create blank and paste what I have here. Basically I'm supposed to copy the running others here and paste it here. Great. Running name already used. Oh, it's already here. Why didn't I see it? Okay, this is it. Great. All right, so I will go ahead and do the same thing here. I will say 375 by 681 and save. Good, we have these here, and this is our container. What we just need to do now is we'll go ahead and put a column inside this, because things are stacked from top to bottom, and we will start with this one, which is the row, and it is, the dimension is 400 by 17. So I will go ahead and click on this column, and let me just open this. Click on this column, add a child to this widget, and the child is going to be a row. Inside the row, we're going to add a text, and we will just paste what I copied, come down here, and okay, it's already 14, and then make this 17. Great. Then I need to give some spacing to this. The spacing is let's use this particular part, 18. Okay, so spacing from the top, 18, and there is something else above here that we just need to put. All right, so this is a small container, right? It's 60 by 6, and what I'd like to do is I'll duplicate this, then I'll delete this, click on this and delete this. Inside these I will put a rectangle, all right, basically a container. All right, so I think it's 60 by 6, and then I will go ahead and come here and copy the color and paste it here. All right, so I will click on these, where's the row, and this is the row. I will center align it. This is it. Okay, so this is what we were working on, and let's look at it. It has a radius of 25 pixels, so we'll give it a 25 pixel radius, and let's go ahead and see the spacing from the top. So the spacing from the top is 16, so I'll change this to 16 quickly and click on this, and yeah, this has some spacing from the left, 24, and that's like the padding here. Okay, so we will go ahead and then give these 24. All right, okay, so let's click on the main container itself and then make it look good. So this is the container, and we want to see the radius, the border radius. So the border radius is 25, so I'll give it 25 here. So see how beautiful that is. Now we need to go ahead and continue building on this, and we will do it really fast. So this is a row, and then the container. So let's check this out. 102 by 102. So I'll click on this, I'll add a row. I will go ahead and add a row here, and in the row I'm going to add a container. The container size is 102 by 102. It has a color, I've copied it, and then the border radius is 20 pixels. So I will just come down here and give it 20 pixels, and I'll give it a fill color. All right, so that's it. And then this is like a column here, and then we have all of these things stacked. So we will just go ahead and set it up. So I'll click on the row now, and then I will add a column. In the column, I'm going to add a row, and inside that row I'm gonna add a text. So this is the first text I'm gonna copy, and it's 400 by 14. We have to come back and copy the color. 400 by 14 is fine, and we come back, get the color, and we come here to the text primary color and we paste it. Great. Then we have we need to put this particular part, so let's go ahead and just replicate this row, replicate, duplicate. All right, so then let's copy this. It's 700 by 14 pixels. I always check it at once while moving away from the Figma design. So 700 by 14, right? Yes. Okay, so it's actually black, so I will just paste the color here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'll click on this row and duplicate it again, and I'm gonna put this particular one. It's 400 by 14. I will have to come back and copy the color as well, so let's change this to 400 by 14 first, and then paste this. Oh no, I need to go get the color. So this is the color, and I'm going to I just like to paste it directly here. Okay, so now let's click on the column. Let's look at this column, click on it, give it this particular alignment. All right, to start from the beginning. Great. Then let's give it some padding. Let's use this. So it's 12 from the left. We're giving the column a padding of 12 from the left. That's the left padding. And then let's look at these. So each of these has a padding in between themselves as 3, and the other one is 4. So I'll come here first and click on this row and say 4 pixels from the top, and this one is going to be 3. And then let's go ahead and click on the column, and we need to do something. So look at this, we have this row, so we will just go ahead and add a row. So there's a row there, and then we have a text, then a button. Then let me check it out. The button is 61 by 36. Let's copy this first. So let's go ahead and add a text inside it, and this is $60. Then inside this row we are going to have a button. The button is 61 by 36, so we will say here 61, and we will say 36, and then we will go ahead and click on this and copy the colors and paste it here. All right, great. So we have this. Let's just copy this, and the border radius for this button is 9 pixels, so we will just go ahead and then just paste this color. It's supposed to be here, right? Great. Then the color, okay, I already done that. Border radius is 9 pixels, so let's just change this to 9. And the next thing is actually to work on this. So this is another button itself, right? So let's just say Ctrl D. Okay, then we will go ahead and click on this. Is 70 by 36. All right, 70 by 36. So let's paste this here first and say 70 by 36. Okay, pretty much. So then we have these colors. Let's go ahead and clear this fill color. I think we'll just like kill it like this. All right, so that didn't really quite go out very well, so we will just say this one. All right, then the border color, we will paste this here, and then I think the border color and this one is almost the same thing, but let's go ahead and just paste it. Where's the color for the text? We will come here and paste it. Great. So here we have this scenario. We will go ahead and check the spacing in between the buttons. It's 15 pixels apart, so I will say 15 pixel apart. And let's check out the spacing in between this and this. So it's 9 pixel. We will say here 9. Great. So let's go ahead and separate it from the top, and here we say 25, so we say 25. Good. And then this last one down, we will say 24. So here this one is 24. So now we have this particular scenario. Then let's do another separation here. So these and this is 37. So let's say 37. Okay, that looks good, right? Yes, it looks great. So now we have some elevation on this button. I don't really like it, so I can just come here and say 0. All right, so no elevation. Now all of these things is like in a list view. They will be repeated and generated from the backend. All right, so we will just go ahead and click on this, right click, and then wrap the widget in a list view. All right, so that's it. So these things will come dynamically from the database. All right, so we're good with it like that. If you just want to see it come out the way it is here, so let's just say here is 20. So let's come here and say 20. Let's turn this to 20. Actually, we'll still have to delete this when we want to do backend. So, but just so that you can see it the way it is on the real screen, you can just see it like this. Okay, so this is it. And now what we need to do is, it's called running others. We can go back to the main screen, go to seller dashboard home, and then add some action to it. So we can come here to the main container itself. All of this is running others. We can click on this, and we can click on that. And what we need to quickly do here is we will have to go ahead and add an action to this. So we will click here and quickly add an action. So here we will say, what do we say? We will say bottom sheet. So we will say bottom sheet, and let's go ahead and then add some information here. The information that we are adding is going to be the running others. Okay, so the running others. So we can say the screen is 800 in height, and basically this was 659 in height. So we can actually say 659 in height. That's the height of the bottom sheet. Let's go ahead and preview it and see how it looks like. Okay, so that's pretty good. And what else do we need to do? We need to go ahead and then start working on other pages. Let's quickly come over here and work on another one. Now I want to see what we can work on such that we can, begin to use it immediately, like to generate some details from the backend. Okay, so this running others. Okay, fine. Other requests. Okay, so we need to create this one. I think this is one of the most important aspects of the project, which is to add a food item. So this one. I think when the user clicks on here, they will be able to see this. So I think I would like us to set this up because it has a lot of beautiful things I would like us to see when we are creating the backend. All right, so let me look at it again. So this is a price, a button, a check button, another one here, and everything here looks really good. So I think let's work on this screen so that we can start we can continue the backend where the user, the customer, can actually get to see food items either with this particular kind of home or this one. I think we had chosen this one before, so I think that's like the idea. So this is going to be all the food, right? And all categories and all of that. I will have to take a look at this and brush it up. Okay, so then this one is search. We did work on this, all right? So okay, so when the user actually search for this is what comes out. Okay, all right, so let's just take it step by step and just see what we can achieve. Today's tutorial might not be very long. We will just make it really brief. Okay, so what we just need to do next is this, and then we should be able to put things inside the database, and that will be like a very powerful achievement for us. Okay, so let's focus on that, and let's do this. This is going to be the last page that we'll work on today. Yes, because this is going to be quite complicated. We will do a couple of interesting things here, right? Yes, very interesting things. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this particular screen. I will click here and say, okay, so instead of starting it from scratch, do we have anything that looks like this? Not exactly. I think we will start from scratch. So we will copy this and then go to FlutterFlow, click to add a new page, and create a blank, paste this, and go. Beautiful. All right, so we have these now, and the next thing we need to do quickly is we're going to what do we do here? We're going to go ahead and add a row, and in the row we're going to add, I'm just going to do it in a lazy way, right? So instead of manually creating this, I will just download it. Yeah. Okay, you should just create it, because I am very sure that the widget components are way lighter than these PNG files. So I would prefer that you create it manually. Yeah, the normal way. So 45 by 45, I will just go ahead and say image, then 45 by 45. Great. And then let's go ahead and come here, change from network to asset, and click here to upload the picture. So we click here and upload this. There you go. All right, so here we have the new item, and here we will go ahead and click on this to add a text, and over here we will just paste this, and then we will say what did we say? Okay, so let's go over here to inspect and see it. So it's 400 by 17. So we will come here. Let me close this. 400 by 17. 400 by 17. And I will click on this. Let's give some padding to this. So it's 16 from the left. So let's say here 16. Okay, great. And these has to have some padding. I think 24. Great, it is 24. So we have 24 here, and do we have something else here? Yes, we do. So I will go ahead and just duplicate this text. I just did. Why is it not duplicating? Okay, good, it's working now. So just go ahead and copy this. It's a 400 by 14, so I will just paste this here, come over here and change this to 14, and come here and copy the color and paste it here. Beautiful. And I will just go ahead and then give it some padding here. All right, so we will say 98. Towards the end of the tutorial, like I mean when we are finishing this project entirely, we will come and do some responsiveness check. All right, so don't be worried about that. That will be a very interesting part of this tutorial. Okay, so now we have this. What we need to do again is we just need to go ahead and then set this up first, right? So we have a particular row here. Let me just copy this. This is 400 by 13. So click on this, add a row. All right, so I add a row. Inside this row I'm gonna add a text, and the text is what I had copied. It is reduced by 1 pixels by 13, and it's definitely going to be having a padding on the left, which is 24. Let's give it some spacing here, some padding. So 24 from the top, and we say 24. Okay, and then what we need to do now is click on the column again, and then we're going to add let's look at it. So we have some information here. We have some information to add over here. We need to go ahead and put up some things here. So what we're doing here is going to be 327 by 50, and this is actually a container first before it is a text. So we will say let's go ahead and just let's put a text field first, then we can try to wrap it with something. Yeah, so let's put a text field first, scroll down to the end here, and change it from underline to none. And then what do we have? This is the information, so let's just copy this and it's going to be 400 by 12. Let's paste it. Where is the text? So we will paste it here, and it's 400 by 12. Okay, so I hope that you're getting these things. I will copy this and I will paste it here as the color of the text. And the next thing I will do is this has some decorations. Okay, so input decoration, we can actually say outline. Fine, if we say outline, we need to put a border. Okay, so let's click on this and see how we can get the color. So we get this color, and actually the border is 10 pixels as the border radius. So we will say, we will click on this and paste this here, and then we will say the border's width is this and the radius is 10. So let's look at it. So now it comes out well, it looks like it. What we need to do again is just some little basic padding if necessary, but let's give this padding first. It's going to be 9, I think. Yeah, good. So this is it, this is how it looks like. But now we don't have the padding on the left here properly, so we will have to come here, click on the text field, go up and give it some padding, 24. Okay, so 24, and there you go. So now we have this. So here it said item, I don't know, was it item name? It's actually all capital letters, so why did it change? Let me copy it again and paste it. Should be all, oh, it's actually just reducing it. Okay, so item name, so something like this. Okay, so we have these here, and what we need to do again is we need to step up to this particular row. Let's copy this one, Control C, click on the column, Control V, good stuff. So I will just click on this and copy this and take it here and paste it. So then the next thing I need to do is this particular part here. So this is going to be a very interesting thing to do, really. It's going to be quite interesting, and let's start with this. So we will click on this, and then we're going to add a row. All right, so this is the row we've added. Inside the row, we're going to add a container. The container is going to be our, it's going to be 111 by 101. Let me copy the color. So it's going to be 111 by 101. Okay, and field color is this. Okay, border radius is going to be 20 pixels. So border radius is going to be 20 pixels. And the next thing we need to do here quickly is, let's go ahead and just duplicate this. Hold on, before we duplicate, let's look at it. Let's look at it. I think that's true. Let's duplicate it. So let's duplicate it. So this is it. Let's give it some padding. It's 24 as the padding. So let's give it padding on the left, 24. All right, great. Now in here, this is not going to be like that anymore. We don't really have a specific tool that can like break this down into, like, make the border a, what do I call it, make the border some sort of dots, like with spaces. We don't really have that kind of property yet in FlutterFlow. All right, so what I will just simply do here, I will just come here and actually export this picture. So I will click this, export it, and I will come over here. It's a lazy way of doing it. I can just go ahead here and just add it as a background image. Okay, that's actually not really very okay. I think I will just go ahead and turn it into an image. What's the image size? It's 111 by 101. So we will say 111 by 101, and I think this was 24. And change from network to assets and upload picture, and there you go. Okay, so I think that didn't come out very well. This didn't come out very well. So I will copy this and I will say Ctrl V. All right, so I'm gonna drag it out. I want to keep it outside here. Then I will say Ctrl G. That's to group it, and then I will try to export it again. I don't want it to be in a zip file like this. That's why I'm doing what I just did. So now I can actually go get the file, and here you go. All right, so we have gotten this, and I will just click on this. Aha. Okay, yeah, it worked. It did work, but let's give this a padding on the left, 24. Let's give it some padding from the top. Let's give it some padding from the top. Let's come to inspect and say 16. Okay, so this is one way of doing it, and now it looks a bit weird, right? So let's click on the column and let's wrap this column with a container. So we wrap it with a container, give it an infinite width and an infinite height, And there you go. So it looks like it now. And so what we need to do now is we need this thing to be a carousel, right? So we will go ahead and then turn it into a carousel, but maybe not immediately, right? Like maybe not immediately. I will try to see how we can improve this in maybe in the next tutorial, but let's just do this to the point where we can actually upload some images. All right. So I think the idea here is when you click on this, you upload an image and it shows here. I think that's the idea. So yeah, and then maybe when you click on this, it shows here as well, or maybe it just duplicates here, something like that. All right, so we will figure it out, but let's go ahead and then work on this part. Let's come here to this part, Control C, and click on this and paste it. So we will come here and copy the price and paste it here. I want us to do some backend today. So now we need to go ahead and then do all of this. All right, so this is going to be a bit tasking. So we have this, it's also a text field. So what I would prefer to do is I will go ahead and click here and just copy it. But before I do that, I will add a row first. So I will add a row here, and then inside that row I will paste this text widget. Then I will use the dimension. It says here 115 by 42. So I will come down here and change the width of the text field. Where is it? Where is the width of my text field? Okay, so this is it. So 115. So 115. It's not really showing the way I wanted to show, right? It's not showing the way I wanted to show. I actually think it will shrink. Actually, we can use these to make it shrink. So let's forget about the width, and rather let's change let's change this. Let's come over here and change it to this. Okay, good. And then instead of giving it a padding under the right, let's remove it and click on the row to add something to the row. So this is gonna be what we're adding. That's a check box, right? So we would just go ahead and add a check button, check box. So we can say check box. This is just a checkbox. Let's click on this and make it flexible. Okay, so this is just a checkbox without anything else. Let's not that. I don't think that's what we need. Let's use something else. Let's say checkbox. So checkbox list title. So checkbox list title. Can it give us these? Click on this and click on this. Okay, so I think we can use what we used before. So yes, we can use this. And beside that, let's go ahead and add a text. Let's add a text there. Great. So let's go ahead and copy this, pick up, and paste it here. Let's copy the color and paste it here as well. Oh, I clicked on that. That's not what I should have done. Should have just pasted it. So here for these, we would just need to click on this. Okay, so all right, so I will copy this and let's change this color here. So checkbox color. So let's just paste this here. And is that one? Okay, yes. Yeah, so the checkbox color, I think the real thing there. Okay, so unchecked. We need it to have a clear. Let's see. So when it's unchecked, this is how it looks like. And okay, and when it is checked, this is how it looks like. So we need to turn these so now this is not coming out very well. It doesn't really have like a border kind of thing. So what we will do here is just change these to white. Okay, so yeah, let's just change that to white, and Let's give it some spacing, so 28, let's say 28 here. All right, and let's check the spacing for these. It's going to be 10 pixels, let's say 10 pixels. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for this one. So let's click on this, Ctrl C, click on the row, Ctrl V, click on this, Ctrl C, click on the row, Ctrl V. No, not that. Click on this, Ctrl C, click on the row, Ctrl V. Come on, what's going on? All right, so I think I'm not copying the text properly, so let me just right click and copy it, and let's click on this. All right, and then let's really paste it. All right, so now it's working. Okay, so let's see, everything is fine, but this one is called delivery. This one is called delivery, so I will come here and paste it and say yes, this is delivery. Now we need to give it some padding, 24 at the end, so we will say here 24. So guys, we have successfully created this. You see how we did that? Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and work on the ingredients. Ctrl C, paste this here, and then we will go ahead and copy this and paste it this here. All right, so this is ingredients. We will correct this later on. Let's do another one. Let's click on this, Ctrl C, click on this and paste it here. This is going to say basic. All right, so we click here and say paste it basic, and let's click Ctrl D to duplicate it and change this to see all. Okay, this is actually a drop down. No, not really. Just click on this and paste this here, and we can go ahead and what do we do? We can come here and put an icon, right? We can just say icon. Yeah, so down, so we will see something like this we can use. And what's the dimension? It's like, I don't know, so it's not really so obvious, but I think the color is what we can copy and paste it here. And then here for this one, we will just go ahead and click on this and say 232. So we say 232, and that's pretty okay for me, right guys? It's pretty okay for me. I think it's okay for you too. So let me copy this and give it to these text, the color for this text. So I don't know, this is 400 by 14. Great, it is. Okay, so now let's look at the hard part, right? So we are about entering the very hard part, and it's not so hard, but I think this is going to be like very interesting, because we need to we're not going to download just a picture. We're not downloading everything. We just need to use what is it called, just these things that are inside it, just this one. We're not taking the entire thing because we need to make this nice. So let's go ahead and click on this, and inside this, let's add a row. Let's start it from there. Okay, so inside the row, we're going to add a shape, right? So all of these guys are, so let's add a container first, right? So it's a container, and it's going to be secular, and let's look at the dimension of the circle itself. So 50 by 50. So great. So diameter is 50, and it doesn't end there. Let's copy the color of the container. Let's paste the fill color here. Great, so you can see what we're going on. And let's click here and add let's add a column inside the container, and then now we're going to add an image. Okay, so now that image is going to be what we have here. Let's look at this. I want to look at this. Okay, this is a 24 by 24. So let's let me export it and see what we have there. Okay, it's giving me just this. So let me say Ctrl G and that's like grouping that thing, and I'm gonna export it. It's giving me as an image. Let me view to see what it's giving me. Pretty okay for me. Now I will do for this other person too. Ctrl G to group it, and the same thing, export. This is going to be very interesting. Ctrl G, export, export here, then Ctrl G, export, and export again. Ctrl, let me tap that again. Okay, Ctrl G, export. I'm just grouping all the elements and exporting them so that they come out as a picture. So Ctrl G and export. Beautiful. Now we have these things. What we really need to do is, this is actually in a column, right? If you observe, this is in a column. So let's first of all look at them again. So this is 24 by 24. So our image is going to be 24 by 24, and let's remove this border radius, and let's say from network to assets, and we're uploading the picture. Let's start with the first one. The first one here is this one, and we're there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and click on the column and center align it. Sweet. Then now this is our container itself, and we need to wrap this container in a column. All right, so we wrap it in a column. Beautiful. And then inside that column we need to add text. So we click on this. I would like to, well, let's just add a text. We will still be able to center align it. And then look at the text here, and we're copying this. It's a 400 by 11, so we will just go ahead and paste it here. It says 400 by 11, and let's copy the colors. So we come here and then we paste it here. Okay, so this is pretty okay. And let's go ahead and let's do some separation, like some padding, 7 pixels from the top. Okay, and here we have the column itself. All right, so let's give it some padding too from the left. So it's 24. So let's say 24 from here. Great. Now we have this. We just need to go ahead and say Ctrl D. Okay, done. Let's just say Ctrl D. What is going on? It did bookmark. I think that is not coming up properly. Ctrl duplicate. Right, good. Okay, so this is working now. So we have a couple of duplicates now. And so let's go ahead and click on this. This is basically 12 from the left, from the left, so 12. And let's do the same thing here, 12 from the left. All right, so it's not if you observe, it's actually a carousel. It can be moved around. So for us to be able to achieve that, okay, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and let me look at it. We need to put these in. Okay, let's just finish up before we start thinking about that process. So what I have observed is this: when the user clicks on the item, all right, it turns. Okay, so basically what we have here is that when the user clicks on the item, when the user clicks on the item, it has this fill color. When it is unselected, it has this. So that's basically what's happening. So we can just go ahead and give it all of the same thing, right? Yes. So yeah, we can just go ahead and give it all the same thing, right? So we don't necessarily need to separate them right now. So everything will just have the same color. We just need to change what is inside. Okay, so I think what is inside is almost the same scenarios, 24, 24, 24, all through. So I'll just click here. Let me go ahead and change what we have here. So I'll copy this and click on this and change it. So this is chicken, and okay, let me just change this as well. So I'll click on this and change this to chicken, and so this is chicken. Then let's go ahead and change this to, this is onion, and I'll click this and change this to onion, and this is onions. Okay, then change this to onions. Okay, and then the next thing I need to do is Ctrl D, and again. Okay, so let's stop there, and let's go ahead and copy this garlic, and just click on here to change it to garlic. Then click on here to change it to this. Okay, so we have that. The next thing we need to do is let's change this is papas. I think that should be like pepper, but anyways, let's use what we're seeing there. Okay, so papas, and let's click on this and change it to papas. I wonder what that is. Okay, so but actually I think that's like pepper. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this. This is ginger, and paste this here for ginger, and change the image for the ginger. Okay, so we click here and then change it. Okay, so pretty good. We have done some good work here. What we just need to do that is left is we need to go ahead and what do we need to do here? Let's see guys. We need to wrap these in a container. Let's wrap these in a container. Let's wrap this widget in a container. So the container is going to have the width of this screen, so infinite, and then the height will be the height here. So let's say 70. Let's just make it 72. All right, so 72, pretty good. Then clear the background color, and there you go. Now why are we doing this? We're doing this because we want to now wrap this row inside a list view, and we want to now change it to horizontal, which is what allows us to create a carousel. If we didn't do it like this, FlutterFlow would have said, we don't like you doing things like that. Yeah, so that's basically why I did that. All right, so let's check the space here. It says 12, and I have 12 here. Okay, so we have this. Okay, now there's well, I think this is okay. Really, look at how it is. It's okay. So we're supposed to have the same thing here. So let's go ahead and say fruit. So let's copy here, Ctrl C, click on this, and Ctrl V. This is going to be fruits. All right, this is going to be fruits, and let's come here and paste it. So this is for fruits, and we will do the same thing. Let's just copy the entire container, Ctrl C, click here and paste it. All right, so we have this, and everything is good. It will have the same effect like this. All we just need to do is Ctrl G to group this, and then export this particular thing. Then click on this, Ctrl G, group it, export it. All right, and Ctrl G, group it, and then export it. Then the same thing to these. Okay, so we just export it quickly. I'm just trying to see how I can do this quickly. Okay, so then after that we have the last export here, the last grouping, and okay, so there's something here that didn't work out very well. And what is that? That should be the broccoli. Okay, so let's just quickly get that right. So Ctrl G and export and get it right. Okay, so let's go here. Let's just copy this and say avocado. Let's click here and then just paste this, and then let's click here and change the image. These are like some very stressful work, so but it's okay, we will do it. And this one is going to be apple, so we will click here and change it to apple. Click here, and I try to see how I can make my tutorials like very detailed. I don't skip and I don't edit so many of the processes, because I want you to see how it's been done, where I falter or make mistakes, and how I correct myself. Yeah, so I feel that it's going to give you some sort of understanding and help you in your own, development process. It will make you understand that, okay, at some point you might actually encounter some errors, or maybe your line of reasoning at some point was faulty and then you had to find a way to correct it. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I am going to put this as broccoli, and this is where we have broccoli, and I don't know, did I pronounce it well? Broccoli. Well, I don't know, I haven't really looked up the pronunciation. So let's check out orange. Okay, so I'm very sure orange is orange. You see, I'm pretty smart. So this should be yeah, so we have to change this to broccoli. So where is broccoli? Broccoli should be this one. Great. And there you go. Then I click here to put oranges, and then I click this and change it to picture of an orange. Okay, so where do we stop? This is gonna be the oranges. No, this one. So this is oranges, and then the last one is going to be the walnut. So this is gonna be the walnut, and I'm gonna click on this. Let me just change the picture quickly. And this is the walnut, and I will change the text here quickly. Okay, so there you go. We have this, and we're fine. So we're pretty okay, right? So we're pretty okay now. So let's just go ahead and close this. Let's look at what next. So what next? We have all of this is fine. Then we just have to have we need to put these scenario here. So let's just go ahead and copy maybe this particular row, click on the column and paste it, and then let's call it details. So let's come here, click on this, and I think this detail is more like description. And then let's go ahead and let's click on the column and make it scrollable. So I click on this to make it scrollable, so that when I add other things I can scroll it through. And then here I have, this is a container, so I would just go ahead and click on this one and copy it, click on the the column itself and paste it. And then here I will just copy this text, the placeholder text, and this is gonna be 327 by 103. Let me just increase the height. The height here is let me see, does it give me, okay, so I think what I can quickly do here is max lines, right? So I can say max lines is 5, and then it increases the size of this thing, right? So max lines is 5, and then I can go ahead and add the label text. So maybe this, right? So I can put this up. It's not it just shows here with the dots, and okay, so all right, so what do we do? I think this is pretty okay. Yeah, I think this is pretty okay. If we encounter any problem, we will just retrace our step at some point, but let's just leave it like that. And then let's work on the button here. So the button is 327 by 62, 327 by 62, yes, 327 by 62. So click on the column, click on add a child to widget, add a button, 327. So let me paste what is supposed to be on the column, and it's 327 by 62. There you go. All right, that's a column, that's the button, and I just need to get the color here. I copied the color. The border radius is 10, so I can change this to 10, and I can click this and paste it. And we can go ahead and do some things here. So click on this and say 32, 32. All right, so we have this, and let me see. So this person is still 24, so why doesn't it give me the vibe? Okay, so it's not giving me the vibe, so I would just go ahead and then come to this place and say be infinite, of course, and then give me the width of 24 as, you know, basically give me 24 pixels as your padding on the left and right. So yeah, this is another way of doing it. Now I need to give it some space here to below, so 23, and I will say here 23. 3. Okay, so we have this. We're pretty done with this particular screen, and I think that's all I wanted us to do. What we need to do now quickly is to actually use it, like to add information from these into the backend. So this is like the part that will be a bit tricky, and let's see where we can do it and then stop. At some point we stop. So let's go to home v2. All right, so was it v2 we used? Okay, it's going to be in the seller's dashboard. Where is it? So the seller's dashboard home. So when the user clicks on this, the user should be taken to, so I'm adding an action, so navigate to add new items. Let's say fade 500 milliseconds. Beautiful. All right, so when they click on this, it brings them to, you know, add an item. And so what do we do? I think this is okay. So we will popular items this week. So this is supposed to be a carousel, right? It's supposed to show this. We will do this. We will try to see how we can quickly make things happen here. Now let's see what to do. Let's first of all go to home. No, let's go to add new item. So add new items, and then let's look at it. And with these, we're going to create our backend. So let's go to Firebase, and quickly I am going to assess the Firebase for our project, and it's in Nocode Africa. All right, so then we're going to just go ahead quickly to the console and assess the project. So here for delivery application, all right, for delivery application, so this is what we have. Let's come to Firebase and see. This is what we have. We have the users, so it says the seller true. Okay, this is good. All right, so let's look at what we need to do now. Let's close this. Basically right now we have a collection for users. Now we need a, let me close this. We need a collection for let's say we might change this at some point. Will we? Let's just say food, right? So let's just say food. So when the user creates the food item, like to create a document, maybe like by submitting this page, that means they have actually you know, created a food document, or yeah, basically a document inside the food collection. So let's go ahead and add a collection here, and we will call it food, right? So because it is food, so let's say food. Click on auto ID and say let's look at this now. So basically it's the name of the food, then image, then price, right? Let's do it step by step. Food name, so let's say food name, it's a string. Image, it will be stored as a string, and then price, it's gonna be a double because it can have point something, so let's just say number, but in that we have to put a default value here, but in FlutterFlow we have to make it as a double. And then the next field is pickup, delivery. Yes, so we will say pickup. This is gonna be Boolean, so we want it to be true or false. Then by default this should be false. So delivery, all right, so delivery is going to be true or false as well. Let's make it default false. Okay, so what we need to do again is, let me look at it, and let me check. We have these particular things now. This is not coming from database, right? This is not coming from database, but this is going to be how do I put it? We want to be able to store all of this information in the database. That means if the seller says, oh, there is salt inside it, right? I don't really know how this has been designed, but I think this is like trying to say, okay, there's salt inside it, there's onion, there's chicken, there's peppers, right? That's it. So basically ingredients, okay? So when they're trying to add the meal, they will say, okay, this is the picture of the meal, this is the price of the meal, and it can be either pick up or delivery. Then they will now say, okay, there's salt inside it, so they'll click on it. Okay, so we're gonna continue actually. So I actually went into the future and I am back. So basically in the future we are actually done building the application, right? So not like done building the application. We have successfully implemented some features here in the application that allows you to actually upload the details inside here. So you see this is our carousel and it actually does roll. All right. So now in this particular part, now the user can actually get to go ahead and then update the application. Now we've added some features, right? So we've added some features which I'm going to try to explain some things to you, right? I didn't want to like go step by step just so that the video doesn't get to be way too long. So I'm just going to explain how it was done. All right, so you see here we have this particular row here, all right, and then it is expected that the user is going to click on it, to like select it. So maybe click to select, right, and double click to unselect or deselect. All right, so that's like basically what we are going to do next, and I'm just going to show you how it was done, and then we will try to like submit another item into Firebase. If you can see here, we have an item that has been successfully submitted into database. Now I'm showing that the basic is actually done as a list, and then the fruits, we didn't work on the fruits, so no, we just have everything, and the image is set as a string. All right, so let's go ahead and just look at how it was done. I wouldn't be doing it step by step. I will just show you how it was achieved. So first of all, the first thing you need to do is we have already connected all of these. We've already connected all of these by actually adding a backend call to create a document. And so if you click on this, you see all the documents that have been created. So right, so you see food, images, details, basic, fruits, delivery, pickup, and price. So now the thing is this, right, these are the ones that are quite simple things that you can easily add. The only problem is the fruits, which is going to be set as a string, and this is not just something you just select by selecting a particular random widget. This is going to be done from app state, right? The same thing with basic. All right, so let me show you. Now we want a situation whereby when the user goes ahead to click on this, right, the user clicks on the column, for instance, they will be able to like do some basic selections, right? So first of all, we want the user to, like, when they click on it, we want them to store like their responses, their choices in the app state of the application, right? So we will come here to app state and then create a variable, a field name, all right, called basic, and we will say it's a string. How did I do that? Just click on add state variable and say basic, and then say string, and then click on list. That's the idea, and then you will have exactly this. And then the same thing for fruits, you do it because it's supposed to be stored, like storing information as a list. And then for this particular section, we have the salt, the chicken, the onion, the garlic, the peppers, and the ginger, and then they are all boolean. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because we want a situation whereby when the user goes ahead to click on let's say the item, like this column now, because we added an action to this column, I will show you, right, the color of the container will change. Like, you see how this one looks like right now? We want it to actually change. And so how did we achieve that? We had to come over here to the field color and then set some conditions to it. So if you click on this, you will see what we did. How was it done? So basically, let me show you. So for instance, if you want to change the color of these based on a particular condition, you have to just click on these and say conditional value, and then you start setting things up like this. Okay, so so that's basically what we did here. So we have the conditional scenarios here, and then I had to go ahead and then click here and then add the values of the salt from the app state. Now let me click on it and show you what is happening here. So if you come here, you see it's from app state, it's not a widget, right? It's from the app state. So you can just go ahead and say salt. all right? And when you click on salt, you have to say that it's equal to, and then sets the value as true, and then you confirm, all right? So you confirm it, and then it will appear like this, right? And then you put the color that it should show when it is true, and that's the color here. And then you leave this particular one as empty, because if it's not true, you want it to be empty, and then you confirm it. That's it. So you do it for all of them, but make sure that as you're doing it, you're changing the app state value, right? So you're saying it's this one is going to be chicken. So let me click on it and show you. So this one is going to be chicken. So I click on the container, you will see this is actually chicken. This says chicken is equals to true. This one is going to be onion. This is going to be onion is equals to true as well, right? And then what else? Onion is equals to true. And then let's click on this. This is going to be onion is equals to true, right? So onion is equals to true. Just to show you an example of it, I will go ahead and just create one more, which is the container. So I'll go ahead and come here. Okay, so this is garlic. Did we do for garlic? Okay, yes, we did for all of them actually. We did for all of them. We did for all of them. So this is it, and this one's too. So the only one that we haven't done is for these, which I would like to show you really how it's done. So let's go ahead and just do it quickly. Let's click on the container, all right? Let's click on the container, and I have to add these value, this one that says avocado. I have to add it. I'll just add only two, avocado and apple, all right? So let's come here to the app state and add a state variable called avocado, and it's going to be a boolean, and I'm going to say great. Then I will say avocado and what? Avocado apple. So let's say apple, and this is going to be a boolean too, and that's it. So now that we have this, what we just need to do now is we will just go ahead and copy this color. So I will click here. I want to copy the color that's already there, copy it, and I will actually go ahead and maybe just clear this color, just for clearing sake, right? So then I will click on here, and then click on conditional value, click on unset, click on conditions, click on single conditions, click on first value, click on this, and go ahead and go to app state and look for avocado. So if avocado is equals to, I click on this and say specific value. If it is true, right, I click on confirm. I want it to show this color, right? That color should go up. If it is not, it should be blank. I click on confirm. That's it. Let's do the same thing to these particular one, and click on this and say let's maybe we just clear this. Let's go ahead and say click on this, go to conditional value, click on this, go to conditions, single conditions, click on this, click on unset, and go to app state, and we want to do apple. So if apple is equals to, we say specific value, and then we say true, and then we say confirm. Then we're just going to fix this value here. That's it. Confirm. So now that's it, guys. So we won't fix it for this, you can fix it for yourself, right? So but now that we have added a condition saying that if it is true, then that color should show, that container should have that color. What should happen to make it come true? That's what we need to do here. So which was what I was talking about, adding the conditions, like these conditions here. Let me show you. So basically what we did was we did give a condition for on tap. So when it is on tap, I want you to go ahead and update the app state and add it to the variable that is called basic, which is a string, add to list, and add the exact value. You get it? Then also go ahead and update the state variable for salt as true, so that we can see the color. And then for on tap, we go ahead and say remove from the list the exact thing that was added, right? And then click on this and say set value and turn it to false. And that's just it, so that we can actually unselect. So look at it this here. So if you double tap, if you just tap, you have this. If you tap away, it goes off. All right, you get the point? That's it. So let's go ahead and add some actions to these. Come here and add an action and say update app state, Go ahead and click on this to add the field. We want to say update the fruits app state. Then click on this and say we want to add to list. What are we adding to list? We will say avocado. All right, remember your spellings because you will need it. Let's go ahead and click on this, and we will go ahead and add another action, which is going to say update app state. Now we will click on this. Now this time around we are saying update avocado to true so that the color will show. So we will come here and say set value and say true. That's it. So we will go ahead and copy the entire action chain here. Copy the entire action chain, go to on double tap and paste the actions. So here you click on the app state, and here it was supposed to add to the list, but when you're double tapping, we want you to remove from the list. So let's just copy what we have here because it has to be the same value. So click here and say remove from the list. What are we removing? We're removing this. Okay, and then for this one we want you to actually turn it to false. So when the user double taps, we want it to turn the value of that variable avocado to false. That means the color won't show. You get it? Okay, that's it. So you just go ahead and do the same thing to all of these, and so we don't get to make the tutorial like way longer. So now that we have these, what else do we need to do? We just need to go ahead and then come to the save changes pad and then add it to our button. All right, so here it creates a document where you can click here and then get the add the source. Right, so let me show you that quickly. We will go ahead and then click on this and go to the widget state and say this is food name. So widget state, we will say food name. So that's just it. So you do the same thing for all of them. So the image is going to be uploaded file URL, the details, the same thing. And then when it comes to the basic part, this is the part that you need to be careful. You need to go ahead and add the basic part from the app state. You see, that's the idea. And then all of this has been set. Now that all of this has been set, all you just need to do is go ahead and then finish up your project. And this has already been set by making sure that this container will be showing the image. All right, so I came here and then made sure that it's showing the image from the widget, right? So let me show you. So click on this and say widget state uploaded file URL. Good. And then here is what I'm adding to call the image. That's be able to upload the image. So that's like the idea. Then we can go ahead and just upload it, like run it, and then while running it this time, we will just go ahead and then like upload a food detail. So let's look for the next food to upload. Let's say white soup. So there is this soup. Okay, no, let's not use white soup. Let's say afang soup. Okay, so it's actually in Nigerian delicacy, very spicy. You should actually try it sometimes if you find yourself in Nigeria. Okay, so I think I will pick this particular plate. It looks really detailed. Okay, so I'll go ahead and say save image as, and yeah, afang soup. Good. So I will wait for a couple of seconds for this to load up. It's not going to take a long time, and then from there we upload it. When we upload it, it will show here in the database. All right, so at first this particular array was not properly set, so nothing was there, but okay, so now there's a problem. Okay, so we didn't set this one, we didn't set the fruit array. So let's go ahead and come here and say okay, yes, we did. It's just that it was empty, so nothing was inside. So nothing was inside, it's just empty. So yeah, it's fine. So let's see how we're gonna set this up and then look at the database and then wrap up the class. I believe that you've learned a whole lot of things from these, so please just go ahead and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to this channel for more videos, and like the video as well, and share to other friends who you're very sure that they would need this. Drop comments too if you have questions, and I will be very available to respond to them. Thank you very much. And so this is our application, right? So let's go ahead and log out from this old one, and then let's log in. Yes, let's log in. This is me logging in as a seller. Yeah, this particular account is for the seller, and we are just going to set things up. All right, so this is it, and I will click on this and add it. This is going to say afang soup. All right, so I will click on this upload image and then click on this upload it. It's uploading file, then it will say success. So success, it shows here. Beautiful. Afang soup, $1,000. Then I will uncheck this. Let's say I want it to be, I don't want it to be pickup, I want it to be delivery. So now I will click on this to say yes, there's salt inside the food, there's chicken inside it, I believe. Then there's onions. These other ones have not been set. Yeah, it can always be set. And then I will now click on this and say, oh, I will eat avocado on the side. Maybe a dessert. I don't know whether that's a good combination. Okay, so I think this particular one was not arranged. We didn't fix this. So let's now say this is a very delicious Nigerian dish, and it will make you so happy. Okay, so something like that. Then we can now go ahead and say save changes. So when we save changes, it says changes saved. That means it's now in our database. So we can come here and check. So you see, this is going to be the details. So right, good. It has salt, chicken, and onions. Under the basic, it has avocado. Right, you see, everything is now working. Then afang soup, this is very delicious, so it's $1,000. Beautiful. So guys, we have successfully built a very nice application, connected it to backend. We will try to see how we can complete it in the future parts of this video, which I want you to look forward to. All right, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop some comments. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.